shloka explained the anubandha of this text. Who is adhikari? What is the vishaya? What is the phalam, prayojanam of this text? Second shloka elaborated about sadhaka. Who is this actual sadhaka? Third shloka we saw obstacles coming in pursuing this path. And fifth shloka was about subtle obstacles, subtle hurdles in our spiritual journey. We will read shloka number 5. Almost shloka is actually explained. Only Jyotihi Shabda is remaining. Okay, shloka number 5. त्यक्त्वैषणात्रयमवेक्षितमोक्षमार्गाः भैक्षामृतेन परिकल्पितदेहयात्राः ज्योतिः परात् परतरं परमात्मसंज्ञम् धन्याद्विजारहसिरुद्यवलोकयन्ति. 3 ashanas according to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. All our strong desires, they are clubbed into 3 categories: Putreshana, Vitteshana and Lokeshana. So it is said, Tyaktva Eshanatrayam, having given up, having renounced these 3 kind of Eshanas. Eshana means strong desires. Our whole life is rotating about this 3 points, around these 3 points. First is around our child, then money, and then what people say. How people will recognize me, how will I get name and fame. About that, around that 3 points, our whole life, our efforts are going on in that direction. Why it is said you give up all these 3 strong desires? It is very difficult to give up desires about these 3 things. Why it is said? Because spirituality need or spiritual goal, it needs more time to pursue it. If we want to achieve spiritual goal like Brahmatva or highest happiness, then I have to put forth more effort. Okay, 200% effort they say. 50,000 salary, I have to work day and night. That if you compare 50,000 salary and this Brahma Sukham, it is way beyond whatever 50,000 we are earning. That efforts, too much efforts. So if we want to put more efforts in this direction to achieve Brahmatva, to achieve highest happiness, I have to give up something. Then only I will have time to dedicate for a higher goal. If we ask you to attend many sessions, so we will have some reasons why can't I attend that. And all 3 reasons, all reasons, they will fall in these 3 categories. Either I have to work for children, for money, or for people sometimes. Okay, that is another competition in society. Whether I want it or not is secondary. That person is having particular thing, I want that thing. Whether I want it or not, don't know. So this is Lokeshana. Putreshana may go when Putra hurts us. Vitteshana may go when that money, we need that money and that money is not available. It may go, but Lokeshana doesn't go easily. Okay, everywhere recognition from people we want. Okay, people saying bad about me or anything about me I don't like. If I don't have money, I can manage. But people are saying bad about me. Whether they have said right or wrong about me, I don't care. He said, I am now disappointed. So Vitteshana, Lokeshana is very strong. What people says, and how will I shine in all people? How will I be different from all other people? This thought is very strong. And if you want to achieve highest happiness, higher goal, then Acharya says, give up that. Acharya says means Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, same topic. This fifth shloka is actually Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Like you give up Eshana Trayam and Bhaikshamrutena, and you live on alms thereafter, on Bhiksha. I told you I have done that. It is called Madhukari in Alandi. Madhukari. Madhukari means, Madhu means honey. How honey bee goes to each avenues and pick up and sucks that madhu honey and keeps in one place. Same way that sadhaka goes in 100 house and pick up the bhiksha. And why that bhiksha is called amruta? Because there is no apeksha. Okay, that anticipation is not there, that I want something back. When we feed our child, we have small desire that he should look after me in my old age. So some desire is there when we give anything to anybody. But bhiksha is what? Literally they bow down to us. In Alandi, I have been and I have gone through that. They will bow down to us and very reverentially they will give bhiksha, as though Dhaneshwar Maharaj has come to our door. So there is no apeksha that I will get something back. There is no expectation. That is why it is called amruta. And why amruta? If you eat bhiksha, survive or live on that bhiksha, your thoughts, remembering power, all will be different. That is why it is amruta. Whatever bhiksha food we take, that time who is cooking, how that person is cooking, all things matter. That is why they say, while cooking, you take Bhagwan's name. The taste of that food will be different. They say means very big people, they say that while cooking, you take Bhagwan's name. While cooking, you play some Gita chanting and you do chanting with that. You see taste. And while cooking, you have different thoughts about family, different thoughts about job. You see that the food. Smaller effect. Whatever food we take at 3 level, it disintegrates, or it turns into 3 ways, like subtle, gross, and in between, intermediate. In Chandogya Upanishad, it is explained how whatever we eat, out of that 3 way, that food turns into 3 ways. Like first mind, then blood, asti, majja. This way very nicely that this is done. Analysis is done in Chandogya Upanishad. That is why food is very important. That is why in our Bhagavad Gita also Rajas food, Tamas food is given. Bhaikshamrutina. Why this is Amrut? Because there is no desire in giving that bhiksha, and that whatever food you consume, that will give you different impression, different thoughts. They will generate, that food will generate different thoughts in your mind. And Parikalpita Deha Yatra, my life, my subsistence is on that food only. Means no special dishes, nothing. Whatever comes, I will do. I will not put forth my whole life to eat. I have seen so many people, they are not, मतलब खाने के लिए जीवित है, जिंदा रहने के लिए खाते नहीं है, खाने के लिए जीवित है. They are alive to eat. They don't eat to be alive. Two different and very different approaches. Okay. Jyotihi, there we were. Jyotihi parat parataram. And that Jyoti is here considered as Paramatma Saudnyam. Brahma, different idea in our head. Paramatma, God, is different. But here you see that Jyoti itself is that Paramatma. That consciousness itself is Paramatma. Not that God means Brahma plus Maya is Paramatma. That Jyoti itself is Paramatma. Okay. Jyoti means what? In general, light. Okay. The ordinary light is different, and this Jyoti, which word given here for Paramatma, is different. Okay. One light, our ordinary light, will dispel the darkness. Okay. But this Atma Jyoti will illumine darkness and light also. Whatever light we are having right now in our room, that will dispel darkness. Okay. But this Jyoti will illumine darkness and light also. Okay. We'll see that. Jyoti. How is that Jyoti? Parat Parataram. Parataram. Parat Para means Shrestha. Okay. Superior. Parataram. It is superior. It is superior than super. How would you say? It is great than greater. This way we say, na? Okay. The translation is given beyond the beyond. That Jyoti is called Paramatma. Okay, this Jyoti we will think about little bit. There is Brihadaranyaka portion where this Jyoti topic is discussed. Okay. Yajnavalkya ji asking question to Janaka Raja. What is this consciousness? Here Jyoti word means consciousness, that Chaitanya. Okay. Yajnavalkya ji asking questions to Janaka Raja. And there are 5 Brahmanas. Okay. Yajnavalkya ji asks Janaka Raja, in the light of what do you see this whole world? Means, how do you see this whole world? In the light of what? Then Janaka Raja says, in the light of sun, I am seeing this whole world. Okay, fine. Then he says, when night is there, at that time, when sun is not there, in the light of what do you see this whole world? Then Janaka Raja says, then in the light of moon, I see this whole world. He says, okay, when moon is also not there, in the light of what do you see this whole world? Janaka Raja says, when light is not there, when moon is not there, that time with the help of fire, I see this whole world. Then Yajnavalkya ji says, when fire is also not there, how do you know all these things around you? In pitch darkness, is there any knowledge when that fire is also not there? Then he says, my speech, here knowledge means what? Illumination. Okay, something I am knowing. In the light of sun, I know many objects. In the light of moon, I know many objects. Same way, when light is not there, Agni is not there, then what illumines the object? How do you know about objects? Then Yajnavalkya says, through my speech, I illumine all objects. So what is Jyoti? Speech is now Jyoti, which will illumine objects. Like you must have, seen this or experienced this when power goes away. That time your son or somebody asks that, where is this some and something? Like, where is your mobile? That time pitch darkness is there, no light, nothing. That time you say on that cupboard, mobile is there. So who illumined where is mobile? No any light. Your vacha, your speech illumined where is that mobile. So vacha illumines. Vacha is the jyoti which illumines objects. Janaka Raja is telling to Yajnavalkya. Then finally Yajnavalkya ji says, when you are not speaking, then speech is also not there. At that time, what is illumining, or is there any knowledge, awareness when your vacha is also silent? When your speech is also silent, at that time, who is illumining? Because when we are shanta, not speaking anything, when our speech is quietened down or shanta, that time we know about our hand, about our all body parts, we know. We may not illumine them, but when vacha is also silent, that time I know myself. And this is how Yajnavalkya ji takes Janaka Raja from Aditya Jyoti up to Atma Jyoti. So, sun is not illumining, moon is not illumining, speech is not illumining, that fire is not illumining. There is within you, there is one consciousness which is illumining everything. And that is called Atma Jyoti Brahmana. Okay, very, very important topic. This Paratpara Jyoti is from there only. Atma Jyoti Brahmana. Another same incident is there. One person, Acharya, was roaming around in our India, and he was just walking in south, and he saw one person attempting suicide. Acharya rushed toward that person and said, "What are you doing?" Okay, suicide is very, biggest papam considered, like go hatya, like Brahman hatya, like that. It is Atma hatya, means big papam, biggest papam. Then Acharya says, you can't give up your life easily because you have not received that life easily. You cannot give up that easily. Then he says, okay, I will not give up my life. But now you have to give me some solution. That time Acharya gives one shloka, that is called Eka Shloki. In one shloka, Acharya enlightens that person. That is called Eka Shloki. It is very beautiful. Same question Shankaracharya ji also asked. Kim Jyotistava Bhanuman Ahni me. The shloka is like that. Kim Jyotistava Bhanuman Ahni me. Ratrau Pradepadikam. Syadevam Ravidepa Darshana Vidhau. Kim Jyotirakshyahi me. चक्षुस्तस्य निमीलनादिसमये किं धीर्धियो दर्शने किं तत्राहमतो भवान् परमकं ज्योतिस्तदस्मि प्रभो. Same questions asked here Shankaracharya ji, that in the light of what do you see this all objects, this whole world? He say ahani bhanuman, sun. Then in the night, pradipadikam, like pradipa means lamp, it shows everything. Then Bhagwan Shankara says, when lamp is not there, Ravi Deepa Darshana Vidhau, what is the Jyoti? Which Jyoti illumines everything? And then he says, my eyes. Here, different way Shankaracharya is going, because that was Janaka Raja and Yajnavalkya. Here, different story. Then he says, objects means sun, moon, they are not illumining objects. My eyes, somehow we have to land up in consciousness. Either you go moon, sun, vacha, and then Chaitanya, or sun, moon, lamp, then you go to Chakshu. With the help of eyes, my eyes are illumining everything. Then Shankaracharya ji says, it's beautiful. When you close your eyes, that time, is there any awareness? Is there any knowledge when your eyes are also closed? Then he says, yes. That intellect is illumining everything. Because sometimes our eyes are open. In class also sometimes eyes are open, but mind is not there. So if something comes in front of us and eyes are open but mind is not there, we will be seeing that object, but we will not know what it is. So what actually illumines? Then he says, when eyes are also closed, that time intellect is working. Intellect is illumining everything. Then Shankaracharya says, who illumines that intellect? Okay, you know that intellect is there. Intellect illumines everything. You know about that intellect means you are illumining that intellect. So that Jyoti you are. And that Shishya also says, in one shloka, he says, okay, that Parama Jyoti I am. So what actually Jyoti is? That consciousness. Because of that, you are able to know some things. You can know many things. That is Jyoti. And how that Jyoti is? Parat Param. Parat Param means, this pen. Okay, this pen is object. I can see this pen, but pen cannot see my eyes. I can see this pen, but pen cannot see my eyes. That means eyes are superior than this pen. Okay. My eyes can see many things, but my eyes cannot see my eye. Okay. My eyes cannot see my eyes. Okay. There is mind who sees through that eyes and to that eye. Okay. Through this eyes, something is saying, someone is there who is behind this eyes. This way, it is Parat Param. That intellect cannot illumine that Chaitanya, but Chaitanya can illumine that intellect. That is why this Jyoti, this Chaitanya is Parat Param. Eyes, with respect to objects, eyes are superior, Para. With respect to mind, mind is superior. With respect to mind, intellect is superior. And with respect to intellect, Chaitanya is superior. That is why it is said Parat Param. Okay. So this is Jyoti, which is Parat Param. Okay. Why it is said Para? Another reason is, like when I see this pen, okay, this pen is blue. That time, when I see this pen, that time dharma of, see, this is very important. This is moksha. When I see this pen, attributes of this pen doesn't come in my eyes. Very clear. Because this pen is blue. When I see this blue pen, my eyes don't get blue. Okay. So why this Atma Chaitanya is Parat Param? Atma Chaitanya illumines this intellect, but whatever Sukha Dukkha of or Jnana Ajnana of this intellect is never seen in that Atma. That is why it is Sreshta. Just like attributes of this pen is not seen in my eyes, same way attributes of intellect, they are not affecting, influencing that Atma Chaitanya. That attribute, Sukha Dukkha of mind, they are not influencing or seen in Atma Chaitanya. That is why it is Para. Untouchable, we say, Asparsha Yoga. According to Mandukya Upanishad, Asparsha Yoga. That Chaitanya will illumine all, but nothing will affect that Chaitanya. Okay. In the same way, like our light illumines this object, but this object doesn't influence or affect on light. Same way, Chaitanya will illumine all, but it is unaffected, immaculated. That is why it is Parat Param. Okay, so Eka Shloki. that is called, and that person gets mukti right away. He said, I am that Jyoti. Because of me, everything is illuminating. Even sun, moon, they are illuminated by me. If I am there, then sun and moon are there. He says, if I am not there, where is sun and moon? I am illuminating that sun and moon. Sun and moon, they are not illuminating this whole world. I am illuminating that sun and moon. I am with my Jyoti, sun and moon gives light to whole world. If I am not there, where is sun and moon? No. So who is illuminating whole world? This Atma Chaitanya, Atma Jyoti is illuminating. And why it is Paratpara? Because all things cannot know Paramatma and it is untouchable. Okay. This is about this Jyoti, Paratparam, and it is known as Paramatma. Superior Atma, we can say Shrestha Atma, Paramatma. Dhanya Dvija Rahasi Rudi Avalokayante. Again, Shankaracharya ji highlighting that I will not see this Chaitanya apart from me. Where I will see Rudi means in intellect, I will see that Paramatma. Why in intellect only? Because Paramatma, consciousness, if you want to easily understand, then here that life we say, life is expressing, that is the way to understand consciousness. Easiest way. Okay. So they will see in that intellect only this Paramatma, not outside, not anywhere. Dvija Rahasi. Dvija means twice born. One is like birds are also called Dvija. First in the form of egg and then they break that shell. Again second Janma. Like that first Janma is from mother's womb and then second Janma is from Guru's Upadesha. Rahasi means in solitude, then he lives. How does he live? Rudi Avalokayanti. All the time recognizing or paying attention to that Paramatma, which is untouched and illuminator of all, uninfluenced, immaculated, and understanding, recognizing that is Brahma. When something happens in our life, we feel I am gone. That time nothing has happened to me. If this thought is there with full knowledge, then that is moksha. In dukkha, I have to stand like anything. I have to stand like a wall. Then all problems are solved. How will I stand? Nothing happens to me. Who told you? Shastra told me that I am that Swayam Jyoti, Param Jyoti, which is illumining all. And illuminator is not affected by illumined. This is how the Jnanam will be there. Very interesting next sloka. We'll read that. Sloka number 6. How this Jnani or Dhanya Purusha meditate, or on what do the Blessed One meditate? Okay. How he meditates or on what he meditates. Okay. Very interesting sloka. When you read literal translation, you will feel something happened to Shankaracharya. Na sanna sanna sada sanna mahanna chadu nastre pumanna cha napunsakameka bijam yair brahma tat samamupasita chittaihi धन्या विरजुत जुरितरे भवपाश बद्धाः नासन्न सन्न सदसन्न महन्न चानु नस्त्रे पुमान्न च नपुंसकमेक बीजम् यैर्ब्रह्म तत्सममुपासितमेक चित्तैः धन्या विरेजुरितरे भवपाशबद्धाः. Who is Dhanya? Ekachittaihi, see third line. Ekachittaihi tat samam brahma upasitam dhanyaha. Just see third and fourth line. One small correction is there. In all, if you see print, all shlokas, sama nupasitam, SAMNU. Sama nupasitam is there, but it is sama mupasitam, MU. Sama nupasitam is actually grammatically wrong. Sama mupasitam. If you don't understand, you tell me. Sama mupasitam. Okay. Difference is there. Okay. Ekachittaihi means with single pointedness. Brahma. What? Which kind of Brahma? Tad Brahma. So Tat means what? First two line means Tad Brahma. And how is that? What is the another name for Brahma? Samam. Samam is the another name. This is from Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter. Nirdosham hi samam Brahma. That Brahma is Nirdosham, immaculated, and Samam, equal. Tat samam Brahma ekachittaihi upasitam. Ekachittaihi tat samam Brahma upasitam te dhanyaha. Those sadhakas with single pointedness, they meditate upon that Brahma. So that Brahma means what? Which Brahma? First two line is done the Lakshanam of that Brahma. First is, see, peculiar. How is that Brahma? Na asat. That Brahma is unreal. That Brahma is neither unreal. Nasat means na asat. Here some Sandhi rules are there. Sanna, sannan, double na, you see. So split, you can write down for your more understanding. Na asat, na sat. Okay. Two nas are there. Na asat, na sat. Na sat asat. Again I will tell. That Brahma, Tad Brahma, na asat. It is not, it is neither unreal, then it must be real. Brahma is real or unreal? Brahma is real. But Bhagavan Shankaracharya is saying, na asat, na sat. That Brahma is neither unreal nor real. Is it the combination of real and unreal? No, it is said, na sat, na asat. Na sat, asat. It is not the combination of both. Okay. Is that Brahma is all pervading? Mahat, Vyapak? Shankaracharya says, no, it is not Vyapak. It must be, twinkling here. Some people, they say in the, eyebrow you see here, you meditate. Something is there, very small, twinkling, shining. Is that Anu? It is said, no, it is not Anu. It is not Vyapak. It is not Anu also. Is it a female? Nastri. See, in what kind of Brahma I am meditating, or that sadhaka, dhanya purusha is meditating. Nastri, na puman. Na puman means not purusha, not male, not female, not male. Na napunsakam. It is not third gender also. Then what? How I meditate on this Brahma? Eka bijam. This is only one seed. From this one seed, whole world came. On that Karana Paramatma, I meditate. This is the literal translation. Na asat, it is not, it neither unreal nor real. nor real combination of real, unreal. It is not uh, big, mahat, not small like atom, not Sri. All everything is negated. Okay. So what is idea here? Guruji always says, because in some Upanishad you will see Sadeva Soumya Idamagra Asit. That Sat was there before this creation. Chandogya 6th chapter. In same chapter it is said Asadeva Idamagre Asit. That Asat was there before this creation. This is combination of all Upanishad. This is essence of all Upanishad. In some Upanishad you will see Paramatma is Mahat. Quotations will be there. You know one thing I will tell you. Why are we having so many darshanas? 12 darshanas are there. Among that, 6 are astikas. Why are we having so many darshanas? Because they get appropriate or to strengthen their knowledge, to strengthen their argument, they get particular shrutis. Like Shunyavadi come. Shunyavadi means nothingness is Paramatma, Brahma. He will come with that shruti. You only say in Chandogya, Asadeva idam agre asit. That nothing was there before this creation. Somebody will come that in Mundaka only you said Paramatma is like Anu. So they will have, conducive shrutis which will support their argument. But Vedanta is not like that. Vedanta doesn't adjust, doesn't take all shrutis according to his matam, according to his argument. Vedanta thinks in all direction and then takes out the meaning and gives, this is the Shruti Tatparya. If somewhere you see Shruti saying Asadeva idamagre asit, then we know how to explain that Asat Shabda. But Shunyavadi will say, yes, Asat means we. Shruti is telling nothing was there. That nothingness is Paramatma. We said no, Asat means different meaning. That work is done by whom? By Bhagwan Shankaracharya. That is why there is so much importance to this Shankar Bhashya. Why? Because what word and what meaning in which context we should take, only Shankaracharya will tell that. Okay. So one new person will be confused that Brahma is not real. And sometimes you are saying Brahma is not unreal also. So here real means what? Unreal means what? Different definition. And when we say Brahma is real, that time different definition. Whatever we say, that is right. This is Shankara. We know how to convey the message, how to take meaning out of Shruti, we know this. So what do we say in general? Real. Whatever we see, experience and feel or conceive, that we say is real. Like this book is real or not? I will say yes, this book is real. Why? Because I can see this book. Okay. I can experience this book and I can conceive that knowledge of this book can take place in my mind. That is why I say this book is real. So when it is said Paramatma is not real, means Paramatma is not seen. Okay. Paramatma is not seen. Paramatma is not experienced. Paramatma is not conceived by our thoughts also. This is the meaning of Sat here. And in some other places, if Sat word come, then we take like Trikala Abhadyatvam Satyatvam. That which is there in 3 periods of time is Satyam. So according to context, we take the different meanings. If you open Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, every day we chant that Mamai Vansho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanah. There Ishwara word comes. Manas Shashthan Indriyani Prakriti Sthanik Karshati Shariram. Ishwara word there comes. There Ishwara word means Jiva. So Ishvara means, we can't say Ishvara means yes, that Brahma which is with Upadhi Maya. No. Different context will have different meanings. Sometimes Ishvara means Brahma also. Sometimes Ishvara means consciousness plus Maya, Brahma plus Maya together. So depending upon context, we will take meaning. Here Satya means what? That which is experienced, that which is conceived by our thought is called Satyam. Is that Paramatma is like that? No. That Paramatma is not object. It is not tangible thing. It is not seen. And na asat. It is not seen. This Paramatma is not seen. It is seer actually. Okay. It is not experienced. This Paramatma is never experienced. We have thought over this, but here the meaning is Paramatma is not tangible thing. Paramatma is not gross object. Here Sat means gross object. Paramatma is neither seen nor not seen. Paramatma is seer. Here Sat means what? Again I am telling, Sat means seen, experienced, conceived, and Asat means not seen. So Paramatma is not like that, seen or not seen. Paramatma is seer. Okay, neither seen nor not seen. Paramatma is seer. This is the language. Paramatma is not gross, or in another our Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Sat means gross object and Asat means subtle object. Gross and subtle. Sat Asat. So Paramatma is not gross, neither gross nor subtle. Okay, it is beyond the gross and subtle. It is beyond the Karanam also. In simple word, this whole world is now, right now, is seen. Okay. In Swapna, this same world appears in subtle form. Okay. And when we go in deep sleep, that time this whole world is not there. It's Karan Avastha. And that Chaitanya, which is beyond this also, it is neither Jagrut Prapancha, this is Mandukya language, nor Swapna Prapancha, nor deep sleep. It is beyond that. So na Sat, na Asat, na Sadasat. And combination of two opposite things is never possible. That is why it is na Asat, na Sat, and not combination. In short, Guruji always says, what you want to tell out of this whole Shabda Jala. I want to tell, don't look here, there, don't have any idea of Brahma. Understand that you are that. How should I agree with you? Because Shruti is telling you understand it. Simple but very bitter logic. Who is your father? Who will tell? Only mother will tell who is your father. Same way, father means Paramatma and mother means Shruti. Only Shruti knows what is actual fact. Only Shruti knows who is my real father or who is my father. Same way, only Shruti knows who is my Paramatma. If mother says, this is your father, will you have any question? When Shruti says, you are Brahma, it is Vyapak, small, don't think anything. You are that. Okay, I am that. Okay. It is not Vyapak. Okay. It is not Anu. All ideas are negated. Okay. We all have some idea, some conception, knowledge about that consciousness. And everything is negated and you are only that is established. And it is very much evident when I understand that Jyoti, Swayam Jyoti, awareness, when everything is pitch dark, I know I am there. I know consciousness is there. I have knowledge also. So this way it is proved. Okay, that In another way, Shruti says, I am Brahma. Okay. And I feel I am Purusha. Then again, Shankaracharya comes and Shankaracharya says, Brahma is not Purusha. You see how to understand this. Shruti says, I am Brahma. I feel I am man or woman. And Shankaracharya comes and says that Brahma is not Stri or Purush. Means what? I, the Brahma, is not Purusha, not Stri. Right now, if somebody comes and tells me, you are not a man, will you believe? Because that has gone in that I am man. Nobody can eradicate that thought. So to eradicate that thought and again and again hammer on this thought, I am Brahma, this Shruti has come or this Shloka has come that Brahma is not Purusha, Brahma is not Stri. When Shruti says I am Brahma, that time I have to give up this thought, I am Purusha or Stri. Okay, not Napunsaka. Third gender is also not Brahma. Then what is Brahma? Eka Bijam. That Brahma is one seed. Okay, it is said that somewhere that which is one. Okay, that which is one. About that one thing, to tell that this is one is also a crime. मतलब जो चीज एक ही है उसको एक बोलना भी गुनाह है. Brahma is one only. Then why we have to mention again one? Because when one thing comes, one count comes, digit or number comes, then 2, 3, 4, 5 are there with respect to this one. So Ekam Bijam. Why it is said that Ekam? If that Brahma is one alone. This is the question. In simple language, if somebody comes to your house and you introduce your wife, she is my one wife. She is my, in Marathi it suits very nicely. She is my one wife. If you have one wife, there is no need to mention that she is my one wife. If you say this is my one wife, then again question comes, is there any second? So that which is one, you need not explain or mention that oneness or one about that Brahma. Then why it is said? It is said why Ekam is mentioned to tell that only one thing is there. Ekam eva advitiyam. There is not second. Okay, that is why one Shabda is come. One Shabda has come. One Shabda is not with respect to 2, 3, 4, 5. One Shabda came here to tell you there is only one thing without the second. Okay, Ekameva Advitiyam. This Shruti is also there to support this one. It is Bijam. This one Paramatma is the seed of this whole universe. Okay. But according to Vedanta, here how to understand, because seed changed or turns into branch, trunk, twigs, leaf, fruits, so many things, and that seed gets destroyed and then it turns into tree. So here it is said Paramatma is like a seed. So this is not complete Vedanta here. Paramatma is not like a seed, because seed, when it turns into a tree, that time the seed is actually nashta. Seed is destroyed, then only it turns into tree. So when we say this Jagat is, this Paramatma is seed of all this whole world, so it is not full Vedanta. I am telling one concept you just understand. One is Parinama. Parinama means what? One thing changing into another is called Parinama. One thing giving up its first form or identity and taking up another form is called Parinama. For example, milk is there. that milk is changing into curd. This is called parinama. Now milk is not there anymore. Milk has changed into curd. So this world is like that? No. If you say Paramatma is seed and this whole world is its effect, then Paramatma would be nasta, destroyed, because undergoing changes, something happens. In all our vyavaharas, when the thing undergoes any change, that time something comes out, something come into being. But this Paramatma is not like milk changing into curd or a seed changing into tree. What I want to tell, this Eka Bijam is not full Vedanta. Okay, what is full Vedanta then? This whole world is Vivarta of that Paramatma. Parinama and Vivarta, two important concepts in Vedanta. Parinama means undergoing into changes and becoming something. And Vivarta means without undergoing any change, it appears in many. What a beautiful concept. Parinama and Vivarta. Parinama means it will give up its original state and change into different, like milk into curd. But Vivarta means gold appearing as ornaments. Without undergoing any changes, that gold appears as ornament. So Eka Bija means that one Paramatma appears as many without undergoing changes. This Dhanya Purusha, Dhanya Mahatma thinks about this Brahma in this way. So when you sit for meditation, that time when you start thinking about that Brahma, then all idea will come. Then you have to negate all ideas. Like this tangible thing cannot be Brahma, gross thing cannot be Brahma. Is this subtle thing is Brahma? No, subtle thing also cannot be Brahma. Is it a big Anu? These ideas will come. Then you have to simply negate that Brahma. Okay, when this will work? When I have idea that Brahma is some Purusha, Brahma is some Stri, that time this will help. That Stri is not Brahma, Purusha is not Brahma. Okay, it is one seed which without undergoing changes appears as many. Okay. Te dhanyaha. Yaihi, this kind of Brahma, eka chittaihi upasitam, te dhanyaha. Those people are dhanya. And they have, after meditating this, what happens? Virejuhu, Sandhi is there, Virejuritare. So Virejuhu itare. Virejuhu means they shine. Glow comes on their face. Again, we all have this kind of thought, that Swamiji is, shines. You see chamak, chehre ki chamak, and we count that Brahmatva, Brahmanishtatva from that. So this understanding Brahma, that realized person and this chamak, chehre ki chamak, no connection. If some South African Swami or South Indian Swami, if he realized, actually he realized that, and your idea is, if he shines, चेहरे पर चमक आ जाती है, तो that person is realized. Then all North Indian will be realized. So there is, shine means what? You remember this thing? Shine means here abhayam. Okay. Fearlessness. How Jnanam will reflect in my personality? Yajnavalkya ji tells to Janaka, if I realize what will happen, you will be fearless. Okay. So Teja or Kanti or shine means what? That you are fearless now. That is called shine here. 16th chapter, Teja Shabdakam. Teja Kshama Dhrutir, like that. Shloka goes. 16th chapter, 3rd shloka. There Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, Teja means Abhayam. Okay. Teja means Abhayam. So that shine comes. Shine means not glow on face. It may come, but it is not Lakshanam of realizing Brahma. And what about others? If you meditate Brahma in this way, without undergoing any change, everything is appearing. Nama Rupa, they are just appearance. One thing is there. Means when I touch this book, I am touching to Brahma only. This Nama Rupa is appearance only. That same Brahma is appearing in different form. When our Veda says Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, that time Nama Rupa also we include. Okay. When I touch this book, I am touching Brahma only. This thought is there. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says when a lamp is there, lit up lamp, when you take that lamp in hand, what do you say? I have taken lamp. So actually you touch that lamp, but you, as though your understanding is you have taken that lamp only, light. We take that mud lamp, okay, made up of mud, but actually understanding is what? I have taken that lamp. Same way when we see Nama Rupa also, that time understanding is this is Brahma only. Okay. Itare bhavapasha baddhaha. Those who don't meditate like this and enjoy this Brahma Jnanam, Brahma Tattvam, they are bhavapasha baddhaha. Pasha means a rope. All other people, they are tied with a rope. What is the name of that rope? Bhavapasha baddhaha. Bhava means that idea, notion of becoming something is called bhava. If I am a young boy, brahmachari, I want to be grahastha, then best grahastha, then vanaprastha, then sannyasi. Idea of this spiritual growth I told, but in employee, then assistant, then manager, then senior manager, CEO, like that. Idea of becoming something. All other will be tied up in this. When I understand I am not man, then titles acquired by this man will not have any value because I am not this person to begin with. Vedanta says you are not man, and that same man is going to be manager. So what he will do if he understands that I am not manager? He will not try to be that. That is why all bhava roga will end. Idea to become something will end when I understand I am not part of this whole game. This is Vedanta's understanding. Slowly it will come when we do more sadhana, when we listen more and more. Okay, last two shlokas are remaining. In next class is our 8th class. We'll finish that. If you all say we want to talk something or we want to express something on one shlokas, then 8 people can take one shlokas. If you want, we have one extra. I didn't ask to Pavitra ji, sorry for that. But you can express whatever you understand or what you feel about that. Having gone through whatever talks, last session we can take if our administrator they permit, because 8 sessions are over in next. So one we can take where you all express like first shloka, second shloka. You will see how who will speak on what shloka, but don't hesitate. Speak, share ideas. Means I will understand where I should improve, how whatever I have told, how much has gone in, or what all things were right. I will come to understand that because I am also new in this journey as far as speaking is concerned. Okay, so ninth session will be all 10 people are there, except me. All will explain one shloka for 7 minutes. 56, 7 8 जा 56. Okay, ठीक है. We'll stop here. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम.